Now look, I get that when you get a job on one of these franchise comic books, on a Superman or a Spider-Man, you wanna change things up a little bit. You wanna leave your own mark on the character. I get it. But there's certain things that I think are too iconic to change. Would you take away Spider-Man's ability to shoot the webs? Would you take away Superman's iconic red and blue outfit? I don't think you would, because every time they do it, it looks terrible. And there's another thing I wouldn't change. A very important icon, maybe one of the most recognizable logos in the Marvel Universe. We're talking about the Punisher skull. The Punisher skull, we're going to get right into it. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's take a look at what they've done to my boy. Now, Frank Castle, the Punisher, one of the classic Spider-Man villains, started off as a Spider-Man villain and became a hero onto his own right, an anti-hero, of course. Not a good guy necessarily, but he does what needs to be done. And how does he represent doing what needs to be done? With a big old skull on his chest, saying, hey, I'm a scary guy. And it's one of the coolest skull renditions that you're ever going to see. Not only does it have the angular eyes, it's an angry skull, but the way the teeth are coming down, the different artists have portrayed it differently. Here we have the kind of dripping skull, like it's dripping blood or something. I don't know, it just has a certain look to it, which people obviously love. And that might be what's at the heart of this problem. But it's a complicated subject. I don't even know where to start. Why don't we start by taking a look at Bleeding Cool and what they have to say. The Punisher gets a new Devil Skull logo for 2022. I mean, I can't hide it now. There it is. This is the new Punisher skull. Oh my God. Oh no. Even from, as a graphic designer, some of you may know, my day job is graphic design. This is something that I would not... Oh, there's so much wrong here. Well, we'll talk more about it in a second. There is a new Punisher series from Jason Aaron, Paul Azaceta, and Jesus is working on this one. I assume this is Jesus Says. And as part of that, the Punisher is getting a brand new look. Okay. So we have this Devil Skull logo. Now, as we've mentioned, they say, we have been covering the increased criticism of the use of the Punisher skull by police, army, militia, white supremacist groups, QAnon events, and Sean Hannity. Even Trump Punisher pins have been popular. Can I get a picture of this? Let me see. Where is it? You guys lost the picture. You gotta save the picture, Bleeding Cool. You can't just link to a tweet. Oh, here we go. TrumpSkullPin.com. Yeah, see, you gotta... These sites are silly. They think they can embed an image and it's never going to go anywhere. Okay, I assume this is it. Yeah, so this is... I mean, it's kind of the Punisher logo, but the Punisher logo never had the glowing red eyes. That's clearly the Punisher logo. And I guess what they're upset about, some of these people, again, is that different groups have been using the Punisher skull. Real quick, here is a famed picture. As you might know, a certain thing happened on January 6th, and this man had the American flag with the Punisher logo. So, what do we got to talk about here? I guess we got to talk about if certain real world groups start using your logo, what do you do about it? Now, I've always been of the opinion that this is the same as... Can I do this? Am I going to go to jail if I do this? This. Okay? I'm going to jail. Somebody already screenshotted that. The idea is that these groups will sometimes co-opt, perfectly legitimate symbols. And I think what you do is you ignore it. Okay? Now, I had a guy arguing with me. He goes, you see this? That means W power. And I'm like, no, it just means, hey, okay. And why let them have the power? Why let them take the Punisher skull? If you don't like these people... Don't say, well, we're going to stop using the skull and you get it. It's yours now. You go, no, we're going to keep using it because it means something very different than what you're using it for. And it is hypocritical for, you see like law enforcement using it. I actually think Punisher skull police car. This is one of the most ridiculous things I ever saw. Yeah, there was a police station. This is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Had their cars, they put a Blue Lives Matter Punisher skull. The Punisher is not a friend of the police. If you read the comics, he is specifically the opposite of the police. He's a vigilante. He does what the police won't do. I don't think he has great and deep respect for you. They even had a comic panel at one point where he actually commented on it. I wonder if I can find that. It was in the Yahoo article. But he basically says, cops, listen, I'm not your friend. I don't know why you want me to be your friend. So even if, let's say you don't like the police, I don't think the army or the militia should be using it. I mean, whatever. The guys in the army, it's a bunch of kids. Most army recruits are, 18, 19? Okay, they just like putting cool skulls on stuff. It doesn't mean that it's a symbol of imperialism. It's just like people like skulls. It's the same as if they put the Jolly Roger on there. You just happened to design a very cool-looking skull. And I think you're going too far by saying, well, we got to change it because all these hate mongers are using it. And not hate mongers, army, militia, police. I mean, I know people hate these guys. And yes, there are some legitimate, like, supremacist groups and those QAnon idiots. Okay? Those guys actually suck. But, the police using it. I know everybody's supposed to hate the police, but I don't think that means, we got to change it because the cops are using it. The most evil thing in the world, the cops. It doesn't make any sense. Let's get down to the real issue. Okay, you want to change up the skull, which I think is a terrible idea. And I'm honestly hoping that this gets revealed. It's just like a temporary change. As you can see, he's hanging out with ninjas. He's got his little samurai swords. I'm hoping this is something the ninjas, the shadow assassins, whoever this is, gave him. They're like, hey, we had this body armor lying around, and we painted like a mystic kind of Chinese almost looking skull on it for you. I'm hoping this is not like a permanent change. And that's what a lot of these places aren't going to tell you. There's a lot of guys running with the narrative that this is permanent, this is the new skull logo, get over it. We don't actually know. It's possible, but people aren't covering the fact that this might just be a temporary change for while he's hanging out with ninjas. In which case, yeah, who cares? It's a quick throwaway thing. The problem is that they actually trademarked it. Now, I don't know if this is common with Marvel. Every time they invent like a new little icon for somebody, they probably do trademark it. I just wonder if that means it's going to be around longer than we would want. Because really the problem we have here is these are supposed to be horns, right? But the problem is they're coming in over the eyes. So it kind of looks like giant weirdo eyebrows. You also, why do you have these horn, what is this, hanging down? Why don't you get rid of these weird tusks? What is he, like an elephant man? Why does he have tusks? And just kind of reduce this eyebrow thing down and have kind of a Punisher skull? Hold on, let me try real quick, see what I can do. Alright, so here's my very crappy attempt. I think you could take this and refine it into something better. But again, the problem I had with these it looks like big stupid eyebrows. It doesn't look like horns to me. Because it's very clearly coming out the center of the face. Like the horn is coming all the way to the center brow, which makes it look like giant stupid eyebrows. I also think disconnecting these things, it makes it look too much like an obvious emblem. Whereas I think it would be better, the whole thing about the Punisher is it kind of looks like he just kind of spray painted it on himself. So I think you kind of want the rugged, dripping teeth or whatever. Here I made 5 teeth instead of 4, but you could do the 4 teeth. And again, I think having like an angular, sharp horn is more exciting than these like very mystic Chinese looking things. But I guess, I mean, if you're trying to make it Chinese, I don't know. Maybe that's what they're going for. And again, this is not perfect. I just think it's a step in the right direction. But again, let's compare it to what we actually got. Yeah, this is too much. It's too much. Oh, and again, we lost these bottom tusks. The tusks are really driving me nuts. It looks stupid. I know it's trying to be like Asian or Oriental or whatever the PC term is. It's not Oriental, I'll tell you that. They don't like you saying that. But I just do not like it. And again, why are you changing it? You're changing it because, what? They got Trump pins and they're on the American flag and we don't like that and they're on the cop cars. I think it's unnecessary, Marvel. I don't think you got to do it. I think you're going too far. Change it up temporarily, maybe for fun, but let people know, hey, it's a temporary change. It's not going to be permanent. Because if it's permanent, I think it looks like crap. But why don't you let me know in the comments? What do you think? Do you like the new Punisher logo? Do you think they should change it because real world groups are using it in ways they don't like? Okay, like, is it really? I don't think that cops should be driving around with a skull on the hood. And thankfully, I think those cop cars, they stopped having it. Doesn't look good when you call the police, like, hey, can you come help me out? And they show up with the Punisher skull on there. That's a little weird. But I don't think it's a good enough reason to take an iconic character image and get rid of it. I always say, what would you do if the bad people, the supremacists or whatever, started using the Mickey Mouse logo? Okay, you gonna get rid of Mickey Mouse? No. So fight back, keep the logo. That's where I'm at. That's what I think. Well, let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe. More cool videos coming soon. Punisher skull. Did I do a good job drawing it? It's not that great. I tried my best.